and welcome back to my channel. This is Gina from Her Cosmic Crown. I am a tropical Vedic astrologer who uses the whole sign system. And today we are going to talk about why it's so hard dating in 2025. Trust me, dating is so hard. It can be exhausting. Been there, done that. Today I'm going to share some tips that I wish I heard when I was younger that would have saved me from some disastrous situations. It just seemed like the worst luck with relationships. I would be attracted to someone, I would be drawn to someone, but they wouldn't like me. Or when, if someone really liked me, I would just get repulsed by it and flee. And it was just this weird dynamic. And I realized that a lot of it had to do with my trauma. It had to do with my relationships with my parents growing up. I was kind of using relationships as a way to kind of heal myself. And until I woke up to, hey, there's an issue with me. I need to do better. And I need to work on myself and figure out why I'm having these weird relationship dynamics. A lot of it had to do with my own personal insecurities. But today I'm going to discuss 8 reasons why dating in 2025 is so hard. Number 1, it's about unrealistic dating. I think the media has told us that relationships, are kind of easy, or maybe that they're toxic, or that we just deserve everything. And, even in our music, I grew up listening to Mariah Carey, and I loved her music, but I listened to the song Dream Lover Come Rescue Me. Okay, don't judge my singing, I suck at singing, but what I'm trying to say is that these lyrics that we listen to were just so romanticized and so unrealistic. I remember watching, Disney shows, and you just expect to just have it all without putting in much work. But the reality when it comes to relationships is that relationships are hard. They require a lot of work. We have to, do things for the partner at times that we don't want to do. Constant communication is important. Constant check-ins, hey, I felt off about our conversation, or that conversation felt icky last night. I want to apologize for my part in it. Or, I'm sorry about overreacting. What was that like for you? Just having this open communication and, can really be helpful in relationships. I think the number one thing in relationships is being realistic and being respectful. We want to be realistic about our partner. They're not going to be perfect. They're going to wake up with morning breath and eye crusties, but we also want to be respectful. Even if the relationship doesn't work out, we don't want to call them names. And they're a person as well with their own needs. And if there's something about them that we can't respect, we might want to question, are they a good fit for us? Number 2, reality TV. I don't know about you, but I grew up on reality TV, such as The Real World and so many different shows. And I just remember watching, these 20-something-year-olds guzzling down drinks, having fun at bars, confessing their love after knowing each other for a couple of weeks. And these similar things are happening on TV shows. Dating shows I see on TV are a big thing, and it's like you just knew this person for 2 weeks and you're already saying you love them. Okay, not building solid relationships, not even knowing if we like that person. Those things, it's can create a toxic relationship that is often short-lived. Number 3, people prioritize their career and education, which is important. These are things that I did as well. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially with inflation and things like that. We want to make sure that our money is right, that we have a strong career that we love and enjoy, and that we're getting our education. Those are great things, but these are things that people are focusing on in their 20s. A lot of times they're just focused on getting their money in order and things like that. So there's not as much time for relationships. So as we see, people are settling down later in age. A lot of people, a lot of women are having babies, their first children in their late 30s, because they want to make sure that their careers are solid, and women are even having babies in their 40s as well. Number 4, online dating. This is somewhat new, right? It wasn't around 40 years ago. Online dating used to be a thing that was on websites. Now it's on your phone. You can just swipe, and you can swipe who you like, who you don't like, and so online dating has changed the dating scene. Unfortunately, people think that the grass is greener on the other side. A lot of times they might have a date with someone, and they might think, well, I was able to get you, maybe I can get someone who is a little bit cuter, who drives a better car, who has a little bit more money. And this is this constant cycle of, you know, the grass is greener. In reality, we have to go back to point number 1, where we have to be realistic about dating and relationships and people. No one's perfect. We're not going to find someone who has every single thing that we want in a relationship. So it's important to be realistic. Number 5, financial stress. Let's get real. The financial situation is really tough these days. So there's inflation. So it can be expensive to go on dates, and many people don't want to invest their money in someone they're not 100% sure about. But there's the other side of it, where people get into relationships just to have a roommate because things are so expensive. So they might just settle down with someone so that their rent is cheaper, so they can split rent with someone else. I don't think that's a good reason to be in a relationship with someone. There needs to be more to a relationship than just looking for financial security. The 6th reason why dating in 2025 is difficult is emotional baggage. Let's keep it real. Most people have quite a bit of healing to do, a lot of trauma from past relationships, from their childhood. They seem to carry these emotional scars with them, and it takes a lot of work to face our wounds, our pain. And a lot of times what happens in relationships, the person becomes our mirror. So what we see in them that triggers us is actually something that we need to work on. So relationships are a great way to heal. But if we find ourselves in this toxic relationship with a person and it's not getting better, maybe that relationship was just meant to be a lesson for us for our next relationship, something that we can learn from. But a lot of times relationships are mirrors, and if we don't like what we see in that other person, we want to look within ourselves and work on that. And some ways that have helped me on my journey was obviously astrology. That has helped me a lot, learning more about myself through astrology and looking at the bigger picture when it comes to spirituality, but also reading books, personal development books, spiritual books, seeing a therapist has helped a lot, journaling, things like that. Number 7, there's a rise in non-traditional relationships. These relationships include no strings attached, friends with benefits, polyamorous relationships, and open relationships. Because a lot of people think, you know, if traditional relationships are flawed, well, let me try something else because that doesn't work anyway. The issue with these kind of relationships is that there can be more confusion with these relationships. A person not knowing where they really fit in that relationship. Are we together or not? There could be a lot of jealousy that can arise in these kind of relationships. And societal judgment. You know, society doesn't approve of these kind of relationships, so a lot of people may have trouble with these. The last one, number 8, is fear of commitment. I was surprised to read the following statistics from the website modernfamilylaw.com, and I'll link the article in the description box below. But what it found is that as of 2024, the US divorce rate remains between 40% to 50% for first marriages, though this number has been steadily declining over the past few decades. And in fact, according to the CDC, the divorce rate in 2021 was 2.5 divorces per 1,000 people, which is significantly lower than previous years, which is great. And this shift can be attributed to changing social norms and an increase in the age at which people first marry, and better relationship education. So that's one good thing about living in this digital world that we're living in now. There's so much information about how to have better relationships. We have more conversations about healing and seeing a therapist than we did, say, 40 years ago. So there's more tools that we have these days that can help our relationships. Lastly, I want to discuss what to do about relationship challenges in 2025. Number one, be clear and honest about your values. Values are extremely important, right? So do you want kids? Does your partner want kids? Maybe you already have kids. What are your views about raising kids? Those are important conversations. What about pets? Are pets important? How many pets? What about spiritual values? What are your spiritual views, philosophical views? Are political topics of extreme value to you, right? Maybe you want someone of the same political party as you. Maybe you don't really care as long as other things are there in the relationship. So these are things that are really important, more important than, you know, what kind of car they have, because a person with an expensive car may be, you know, all their money is going towards that car, but they're not good at saving. Whereas a person with an economic car, they might be great at saving, but, you know, they don't have this flashy car. And, you know, someone may be very good looking, and so we don't want to base you know, our relationships just on looks. It's important to have a deeper connection with a person, looking at their values and not just how they look physically or what they have materially. Another thing that I learned that I wish I knew when I was younger is kind of going back to the other point that I was talking about when it comes to knowing your values is really knowing your values, right? And so as I got older, I knew that I wanted to get married. But the problem was I was still dating people who didn't want to get married. And that's one thing I would tell my younger self today is, if you know you want to get married, don't entertain people or relationships who don't want to get married because they already told you they don't want to get married. This kind of goes into wanting to change a person and things like that. That doesn't work. And we don't want to date for potential. We want to date, you know, who we want. And again, no one's perfect. No one's going to check all of our boxes. But if you really want to get married, or if you really want to have children, date someone who matches those values, because otherwise, you know, you're most likely going to be wasting your time. Those are some tips that I have for dating in 2025. It is hard dating these days, but it's not impossible. We can do it. The most important thing is to know yourself. Get to know yourself, heal yourself, get better, and then you can find someone who matches that energy that you have, who has similar values as you. And we can't do those things without first knowing who we are. So anyway, I hope these tips helped you. Let me know if you have any additional tips for other people who find that dating is really hard in 2025. Also, check out my video on compatibility. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.